a very great match today. Is it easier to get through the disappointment after such a performance?
Like it's always tough getting to a final stage of an event where it's down to two players and you end up being the one that's going home with the smaller trophy. There's no doubt about it. No matter how you played well or not, whatever the scoreline is, it's always tough. But it'll be all right.
Maria, where did you think you played well tonight, and where do you think you fell short in the finish?
Yeah, I mean, in the finish, I definitely thought I could have get a few more serves in the tiebreaker, giving her many looks on the second serve, even though they were good deep second serve. She was ready, aggressive. She had a couple of winners. And then some of the service games where I had 15-30 or 30 all, she came up with really big serves and ones I sometimes couldn't get my reach at, and those you just have to let go and keep going.
Maria, she served so well tonight. How hard is it for you to read that serve, and how much do you feel like you're guessing where she's going in the box?
Well, look, that's one of her biggest strengths is her serve. Maybe it's something that has saved her in many matches and in situations where you cannot get your racket on the ball. You have to let that go, and if you're able to get in the point somehow, make it maybe a little bit easier for yourself. But there was I didn't feel that I had many of those chances to get in the point when the games on her serve were 30 all or 40-30 or 15-30 a few times. She came up with really great first serves.
How do you rate that serve stroke, compared to any other shot in the women's game?
Well, it's definitely much faster. There's a few, just a very limited amount of players that serve in that speed range as she does consistently. She finds the corners extremely well. Yeah.
Maria, you had saved match points earlier in the tournament, and you said you were very proud of how you fought through that. When you saved those 2 championship points today, did you have that confidence and felt that things might turn around for you?
Well, I wanted to. I wasn't gonna just let her hit a winner to win the match. I really wanted to go for it, and I wanted to do everything I could to stay in those games and in that match. And on the last one, couldn't do much to get that ball.
Tactically, Maria, off the ground, how do you feel about how you're able to hang in the rallies with her once everything gets to reset to like 50-50?
And I think that's something that I feel personally I've improved in the last year or so, where I feel much more solid on the ground, and I'm not afraid for it to be a physical match. I think when I did have the opportunities to get in the rally, I think I handled that quite well. But there's not a lot of time in important situations where I could get in the rally.
You talked about not being drawn into the aggressive style of play that she has. You thought that you sucked into sort of hitting it as hard as she does sometimes, and overhitting it sometimes. How happy were you with executing the plan you went in with?
Well, as much as I would love to hit a 200 kilometer an hour serve, I just don't think that's feasible with my shoulder. There's a lot of things I'd love to do in this world, but I can't. It's just the reality of it. But in terms of getting into the point, and yeah, there's definitely a few times where I rushed and made a few errors, but I don't think as many as maybe in my previous matches against her.
Maria, you've done so well on the circuit, obviously the 5 slams, what you've done on clay court tennis, and your record against so many players, yet this discrepancy with Venus, this difficulty with, Serena. Just talk about that. I mean, is that frustrating that you just haven't been able to break through for so long? Does it at a certain place bother you, or what are your thoughts about that?
Look, I actually believe that we attract what we're ready for, and yes, I haven't won against her many times, but if I'm getting to the stage of competing against someone like Serena, I'm doing something well, and I'm setting up a chance to try to beat her, and it hasn't happened, and I'm not just gonna go home without giving it another chance. That's just not who I am and not who I was raised to be. I'm a competitor, and if I'm getting to the finals of Grand Slams and setting up myself to play a match against Serena, I know it sounds maybe telling me I'm wrong, but I'm happy to be in that position. I love the competition. I love playing against the best, and at the moment she is.
Maria, Andy Murray had told us earlier that he's very proud of his own achievements because of the kind of competition that is around him at the moment. Do you have that sense as well, being in the same era as Serena and achieving everything you have achieved?
Yeah, I think it's been, look, over the last 10 years, I think her and I have been out of the game at some time. She was injured for a period of time. I was out for a year. So yeah, between all of that, in between and around it, we've been able to play a lot of great matches against other players. And I'm proud to be part of an era where she's in.
Do you feel like you're getting closer to getting that win, Maria?
If I keep setting up myself chances, absolutely.
Maria, how will you sum up these last 2 weeks then?
Look, it's disappointing now. It's 45 minutes after the match. It's always tough to, to sit and speak in front of the press about a loss. But look, I'm happy with the way I've handled a few of the matches here, how I've come back strong, how I've set myself up to try to win another major. It's not easy to get to the final of a Grand Slam. It takes a lot of work, and it's over the course of 2 weeks, and that's a good achievement, and it's a good start to the year, and the year is very young at this point.
You've played here till the very end. Is Fed Cup is still in your plans? And if yes, how many matches would you like to play in Krakow?
Yes, it's in my plans. Very looking forward to the 30-hour flight I'll be taking to Krakow tomorrow. It's a very, very convenient travel itinerary too. Yeah, and it's like -8, so that's even better. Love the climate, love the travel. I haven't gotten to the match count yet, but all those other things are great. So I'm looking forward to it.
And Maria, obviously your father played such a critical, and still plays, well, we'll just say he played a critical role in your whole tennis life. Do you remember actually going on his bicycle and going to the academy in the early years, and just talk about those times and how that was the foundation, so to speak?
Oh yes, I remember that bicycle, and I remember that basket that I really liked, and he had to throw away because I needed to sit where the basket was. So thought the bicycle looked much better with the basket on. Yeah, those days were definitely. Yeah, I take the time sometimes to think about that and think about where you came from and the hurdles you had to go through. That was definitely one of them. But yeah, he was a tough cookie. He inspired me very much and kept me motivated, and it was really, really great to have him by my side for so many years of my career, and still consider him, very close and a good friend and a father at the end of the day.
Have you heard from him yet tonight?
No, I just stretched and just spoke to my team.
Maria, obviously winning isn't fun, but is there any part of that match that was fun for you? Enjoyment out of going so...
Winning is fun.
Oh, did I say winning?
Yeah.
Losing isn't fun, but
I'm still on it. I'm still a little sharp.
Thank you. Maria, is there joy? And we see you fight so hard in that match, especially in the second set. The quality was so high, and you worked so hard for that, I think.
Yeah, I like setting up those situations, and I like the battle. I do. It's frustrating to be the one going home, as I said, with the small trophy, but I do love the battle, and I love high quality tennis. I love being part of it. It's a lot better than watching it on TV. It's nice to be, in the moment.
2 more questions in English. Yeah, Maria, in the second set, like a lot of the shots, like you're hitting with so much of depth, and you seem to be in control of the rallies against Serena. So, do you feel that adding another facet to your game, like a better net game, would help you get over the line against her?
Well, I think first you have to create the angles and you have to create the deep balls to get the short ball from her. You know, she gets many balls back, and not just gets them back, but she's a good defensive player as well. I mean, everyone a lot of the time talks about how aggressive she is, but she's able to create many angles and many deep shots off of the defense, and that's not always easy to come in on.